Well, good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Dan. If you're returning, welcome back. If you're new here, I ask that you'd please hit the subscribe button, ring the little bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It helps with the algorithm, helps to get my videos out here. Share my content on your other social media if you would, please. Anyhow, today was an interesting day. My truck was due for service, so I had to put it in the shop. And one of the other drivers there was a female. She started talking to me. Now, I'd ran into her a couple other times. One time, the first time I met her, somebody had ran into the side of her trailer, so she was late showing up at her delivery, which is where I was delivering. And, she was all shook up. So, being the nice guy I am, she was having trouble backing her truck in because she was all shaken, or that was her excuse anyhow. But so I helped her out. I got in her truck and I backed it in the dock for her and everything. And then I'd seen her again yesterday at a shipper, and turns out that she sucks at backing up, but because she spent 45 minutes trying to back into the dock, and I had to sit there and wait for her because the dock door that I was supposed to back into was on the other side. But, it is what it is. Not everybody can back real well. But today I met her again at the shop. She had gotten there before I did to have her truck serviced. Anyhow, we got to talking. She liked me a lot, and we were having a good conversation. And then she decided that she wanted to swing over to some political stuff. Okay, and that's where things really went bad. uh, let's just say she don't like me no more. She started talking about what a great job Biden was doing, and how she can't believe that people are blaming this and that on him, she started talking about defunding the police and all this other stuff, and well, my opinions on a lot of this stuff, or at least my regulars here do. So every time that she would start talking about what a great job Biden was doing, I was like, okay, well, explain to me what he's doing that's so great, And she was talking about how he was, handling the rioters and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, really? I mean, because I don't know about you, but I've been to the cities where they're still burning the cities down, and all he's wanting to do is defund the police and take away people's guns. And then she goes, well, what do you mean that he's looking to take away everybody's guns? How's he going to do that? I go, have you read the HR 127 bill? She goes, no. I go, well, okay. It is nothing but a gun confiscation bill, really. She, how's that? I go, okay, there's a section in there that says that in order for you to get a gun license, that they can talk to your ex-wife or ex-husband as a character witness, and based on their interview with that person, you could be denied a gun or a license to have a gun. And she was like, no, I don't say that. So I brought up the HR 127 bill, and I scrolled down and I found it, and I showed it to her, and she was stunned, okay, because it was exactly what I said, that they could deny you a permit to own a gun if your ex basically told them that you were a nut job or whatever, And then we got to talking about gun rights and everything, and she's like, well, you don't really need a 30 round magazine for hunting. I told her, okay, you show me in the Constitution where it says that our gun rights are in order to be able to hunt. Okay, because from what I've read, it is for the defense of your home, your property, your family, and your freedoms. And for, if the government becomes tyrannical, you have the right to overthrow the government. Well, no, it doesn't say that anywhere. So I had to go and bring up the Constitution and start reading to her, and that pissed her off because I proved her wrong again. I go, now, why would I let anybody take away my firearms and defund the police at the same time? Because all that is doing is leaving me totally defenseless. Well, no, all these mass shootings. I go, okay, here's a little thing for you. I believe there was like 18, 19 mass shootings under Obama. There was four, count them, under Trump. Okay, and we're already at like 11 or 12 under Biden. Okay, these are national statistics. You can look them up. And I go, so explain to me how it is that under a conservative we had four, but under liberal left-wing nut jobs like Biden and Obama, we have way over four. Okay, and I told her, I'm like, look, these mass shootings, in my opinion, are nothing more than planned out events to basically take away people's Second Amendment. And people like you fall for it and vote for them in order to give up our rights that were granted to us by God, not by the government, but by God. You want to do away with our God-given rights to defend ourselves. And at this point, she was getting pretty aggravated, because I was proving my points, and I was doing it politely, okay, and I was not being combative with her, and I was not trying to argue with her. Every time she would bring something up, I would show her the truth about what was going on. And then I was like, okay, you want proof that Biden's doing bad? Let's talk about the border. And as soon as I said that, she turned to me and she goes, I'm a Democrat, I don't want to talk about it, and walked away. Okay. And then after that, anytime I would walk into a room, she'd walk out of the room. So, she could not defend her positions. She could not prove her positions. But she wanted me to agree with her regardless of the fact that she was wrong. Okay? I brought up proof every time of everything I was saying. And I if she would have stuck around, I was going to hit her with everything that's been going on at the border. And how the border used to be secure under Trump, and now under Biden, we have children being left in the desert, we have children being dropped over walls, all this kind of stuff. We have mass quantities of people coming in here that should not be here. I was going to start hitting her with a bunch of facts, and but before I could, she got all pissed off and walked away. Anyhow, tonight I wanted to touch a little bit more on building your mag. Okay, I have a woman, she's in her 60s, that I'm talking to, and she doesn't really have anybody that, as far as a support system for a mag or anything like that. And she was asking how to build them, how to start building a mag, since she really doesn't have any, her family that she does have, they're not into the prepping lifestyle or anything like that. And her friends, she lives in a liberal state, so she lives in California, but she's not sure where to start. Okay, now here's the thing. Okay, our first goal is to bring our family and close friends on board with us. And, you will run into resistance in your own family and with your friends. Uh, but if you sit down and explain it to them logically, which is what I did with some of my family members that are now prepping because of the talk that I had with them over this past year. Uh, they'd never prepped before. And, like, I have sisters and brothers that said, well, the government will take care of us and all that kind of stuff. And I just asked them, well, how did that work out for you over this last year during the lockdowns? And when everybody, like my sister, her husband became unemployed, and they about lost their home because of all of that. And I go, do you really think that the government cares one way or the other about you? I go, okay, imagine this. Last year we had the lockdowns because of the pandemic. Now they're saying that there are deadlier strains of it out there, like what's going through India. Okay, I go, imagine they're already saying that it's making its way here. Now imagine that it hits here and it starts devastating people, and the government comes in and says, okay, everybody's locked down, period. You're not allowed to leave your homes, except for like an hour or two a day, kind of like what Australia is doing to their citizens. Okay, now say that you are locked down, you have no income coming in, you can't go to work because your employment's closed and all that. How are you going to survive? You're not going to have money to go out and buy food. Uh, the pipeline, for instance, with the problem going on right there. Now, any true prepper was prepared for this. Okay, um, like myself, I store a lot of fuel for my cars. I keep it at my bug out location. Yes, it's a little bit of a drive to get out there, but I've got more than enough fuel to get out there and back, and bring plenty back with me. But even if you were a prepper and you didn't have fuel already stored up, when the incident first occurred and they broadcast it, most preppers went out that night or the next morning and started buying fuel and storing it and having enough on hand for emergency needs, gas to get back and forth to work, etc. Okay, so, and everybody else waited until the last minute, and then gas ran out, and now they're screwed and they're fighting over it at the pumps. I mean, Native Voice he had a video up earlier today where he was talking about people that got into a fight at the pumps at the gas station, and they wound up closing down the gas station altogether, even though the gas station still had fuel. Okay, now a responsible prepper would have already had his fuel and be kicked back and saying, okay, I'm good. And a prepper like myself or many of you will not be needing to run to the store because we already have what we need. And I've explained all this to my family and friends, and that's how I got people on board with prepping. And that was how I got the people that were close to me on board with prepping. And then I branched out even further because I only had like 30 people that were close to me, and I wanted to build a big mag. Okay, I decided that I wanted enough people to basically defend a town. Okay, so I started a site on Facebook, a group on Facebook, and a few other social media sites. basically for my area and the surrounding counties. Uh, basically it was a uh, prepper site, a prepper group uh, for like the 3 or 4 counties around me, as well as the county that I lived in. And I was surprised how many people were actually into the idea or were curious about the concept of prepping. But there was a lot that didn't know a whole lot about prepping and wanted to get more information on it. Okay, so we talked and worked together about things. Now, at this time, we didn't have property, so we didn't have an actual bug out location. But we'd worked out between all of us. Some of the people had huge pieces of property that we could go to, and stuff like that. But others, lived in town and didn't know what they would do if if it came to our doorsteps. But we we wound up testing new people that wanted to join the mag, testing their character, their reliability and so forth. Just little tests that they didn't even know that they were taking. Like we'd take them out camping for a weekend or longer, or we would take them out bug out bag weekend, where you take your bug out bag and you survive on that for the entire weekend out there. And like I had explained before in a video, uh, I would take somebody out. Sometimes I'd take 2 or 3 other people out. We would all go our separate ways during the day to find food and stuff, and I would just go and basically dick off. I wouldn't even try to catch any fish or rabbits or anything like that, squirrels, nothing. And I would come back empty-handed at the end of the day. And they would have fish or rabbits or squirrels or whatever, and I would ask them, tell them, look, I didn't have any luck today. I didn't catch any fish. I didn't, my traps were all empty when I went and checked them. In reality, I'd never set any traps, and I never even bothered to fish. But I'd say, look, would you mind sharing what you got with me? Uh, Now, if they were willing to share that, that was a good character trait, because it showed that they were willing to work together. eh, You know, but if they would refuse, say, well, I did all the work. Why should I share my food with you? Then I'd say, well, okay, that tells me all I need to know about your reliability during an SHTF. You're not willing to share or work together for the benefit of the group. So, yeah, we're not going to invite you to join our mag. You know, I've had people that were wanting to join the mag over to my house, and I would leave various amounts of money laying out for them to see. And, I mean, that I didn't do it while they were there. I put it out before they got there. Like I'd leave $50 or $100 laying around or whatever. And I have cameras hidden in my home, and I would go off into another room, and my wife would be in another room with me, and they'd be left alone with the money. And if the money just disappeared by the end of the night, okay, we knew that that we couldn't trust them, and we had them on video as well, and they didn't know. So they'd take the money, and then they'd deny it, and I'd show them the video. I'd say, okay, now I want my money back, or I'm going to turn you into the police, you know. And generally, I would get my money back. But you have to vet the people that you are allowing into your mag, because you never know what their character is. That's why I test people's character. You know, I want people that are honest, trustworthy, reliable. You know, uh, like I went out with one guy. We went out for the weekend, just bug out bag weekend, and I pretended that I'd hurt my leg pretty bad. This motherfucker was going to leave my ass out there. Okay, he was leaving. I mean, literally getting in his car and leaving me, rather than to carry me out and take me to the hospital or anything like that. Now, do you think that's somebody that made it into my mag? Hell no. He showed me that he's willing to leave you behind in a situation where he's not even in any danger. All he had to do was help me out of the woods and take me to the hospital. But he wouldn't even do that. Okay? So, you know, if he'll abandon me when the times are good, how would he act when the times are bad? You know? So no, he did not make the cut, you know. Well, just little various things like, and once we did get a actual bug out location where we could start building on and turning into a homestead and a secure location, then we would not bring anybody out there until we'd vetted them thoroughly. You know, we do background checks on everybody. I have an account where I can go on there and I can pay, you know, I think it's like $8 for a criminal history background check on people, which is one of the first things that I do. Is, you know, I want your name, birthday, you know, stuff like that. You know, I'm not going to ask you for your social security number or none of that kind of shit. Okay, you know, I do ask for a driver's license number because it makes it easier. If you're not willing to give that, okay, that's fine. There are other ways, you know, give me your mother and father's name, you know, as well as yours. I can run a background check anyhow. You know, and that's one of the first things I do because I want to know what kind of person I'm dealing with, and their criminal history will tell me a lot about them. I mean, I've had people that wanted to join our mag that had been in prison before for rape, drugs, and stuff like that. And, you know, if you've got a rape or, you know, that you've been caught trafficking or, you know, selling drugs, I don't want you. You're of no use to me or anybody else in my mag. You know, now if I find something on there that you can actually explain to me that how it got there and give me a plausible explanation, I'll take it into consideration. You know, because things do happen. Okay, I will do more investigation into the situation of how you got that felony on your record. You know, because I do have a couple of former felons in my mag. I did some investigating of my own, which, by the way, I have done private investigation before. But, you know, I also have friends that are in that field, and they can do the investigating for me as well. But anyhow, you know, I'd investigated what they'd told me, and it turned out that what they'd told me was true, that they were just at the wrong place at the wrong time and wound up catching a felony. Like my wife, for instance, she has a felony harboring a fugitive on her record. Okay, what it was the guy she was dating had gone to jail. When he got out of jail, he stopped checking in with his probation officer and stuff. He came to her house, and the cops come there looking for him, and he refused to let her answer the door. Well, the cops had a warrant, and, you know, they heard the commotion in the house, and, well, they came in. Okay, and she was trying to get out of the house, and he was trying to stop her. But anyhow, the cops said that she was harboring a fugitive. And so she was young. She was like 19 years old at the time. And she didn't know any better, so she pled guilty to the charge. And so that's going to follow her around for the rest of her life. You know, it's a felony harboring a fugitive, but she wasn't technically harboring the fugitive, you know, and her explanation to me was plausible. I mean, I've seen stuff like that happen. Got to remember, um, I did go through police academy training and all of that, and so I'm familiar with cases that are similar to this. But anyhow, these are just ways to get started. Okay, um, like I said, if you've exhausted your possibilities with friends and family, okay, turn to social media, start groups in your area, you know, for your county, for the surrounding counties around you. You can you can specify what area and all of that, um, that you're looking for people to join this group. And you'd be surprised how many people are actually interested, but they don't know how to start it. They don't know how to get it going. They'll come across your group. Now I set up questions at the beginning before, in order for you to join the group, there was questions that you had to answer as to why you wanted to be a prepper, how long you've been prepping, you know, uh, just simple little things like that, and they'd answer it, I'd read it, I'd accept them, we'd talk, and eventually met, and so forth. But that's how I've managed to build my group up the way that I did. And once your group reaches a certain size, then you got to start thinking about other things like, um, you know, we were going to buy land. Okay, so we started a treasury, and everybody donates, weekly to the treasury. Some of us just do it monthly, depends. Anyhow, uh, the treasury goes into a nonprofit, and we used it to buy land and so forth. Uh, the nonprofit, we had to set it up that way. It took a little bit of doing, but we have a lawyer that in our mag that walked us through all that stuff. So you know, um, we have a contract that everybody that joins the mag has to sign. It's a confidentiality agreement. We're not allowed to bring people to the bug out location unless it's approved by the council. And just little things like that. Nobody's allowed to video the compound because we don't want it getting out. So we don't want people to know the location or anything like that. It just helps to keep it secure. No GPS devices are allowed. We have on the property, we have GPS signal jammers and cell phone signal jammers and all that, so that you're not tracked on the property and stuff. Because Google is really good about that. Every time my phone updates, it automatically turns my location back on, and I wind up having to turn it back off. And even then, sometimes, even after I've turned it off, I've gotten emails from Google Maps telling me you've been here, 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 here this month, and I'm like, how the hell are they tracking me? I have my GPS location on my phone turned off, so how are they tracking me? You know, so that's why we run jammers, is because even with that turned off, they're still tracking somehow. So with a jammer, they're not getting a signal. So, but I've done a video before on how to do a mag, how to start your mag. And this one, I'm going into a little more detail to try to help you out. And even in liberal areas, you will find people that are preppers and that want to find other people to join a mag. I mean, I have a friend that lives in Chicago, and he's got a mag of about 50 people. Okay, and they recently bought them some land outside of Chicago. They're going to have to travel about 70 miles to get to their bug out location, but they bought them a piece of property. It's only like 10 acres, but they're going to start building it up so that if it hits the fan in the city, they can get the hell out, and they'll already have a place that's stocked up and prepped, and be able to escape from all the riots or whatever's going on. Anyhow, excuse me. This video is running a little long. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Ring the little bell icon. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, doesn't matter. Share my content with on your other social media pages. And remember, I want everyone out here to have PTSD. Okay, and I don't mean post-traumatic stress disorder. I mean preps to survive disasters. That's the whole point of what we're doing, is prepping to survive disasters, and we're seeing a lot of them here over the last year, and there's a lot more to come. So you need to prepare. Get out there, get what you need. Start with food, water, the basics. Beans, rice, canned goods. Canned goods stay good a lot longer than people think they do, way past their expiration date. Okay? Just go out. It doesn't have to be expensive stuff. Like I'll go out and buy bulk spaghetti. Okay? And then I Hunt's tomato sauce, not the greatest in the world, but it's like 88 cents a can. Get the stuff while you can before the price shoots through the roof. Okay? I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all have a blessed night. Stay safe out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which there's not a lot I wouldn't do, so y'all are good there. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.